case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
In 1925, the Supreme Court of Texas presided over the case of Arnold v. Leonard, which centered on whether the legislature has the power to grant a wife certain rights in her separate and community property, as well as protect specific community property from being taken to pay off her husband's debts, without infringing on any constitutional rights. Adele E. Leonard, the wife in question, sought to prevent the administrator of a deceased person's estate from seizing the rents and revenues generated from her separate property to pay off a judgment against her husband. The trial court ruled in favor of Adele, stating that the rents and revenues were her separate property and could not be used to pay her husband's debts. However, the Supreme Court needed to determine the constitutionality of the law that classified these rents and revenues as Adele's separate property, and whether older laws exempting the husband's debts from such assets were valid. Ultimately, the Supreme Court concluded that while the legislature has the power to designate portions of the community property as separate without violating the Constitution, they cannot create new rules that exceed constitutional limits. In this case, the Acts of 1917 and 1921, which attempted to convert the rents and revenues from Adele's separate lands into her separate property, were found to be unconstitutional. However, the earlier law that exempted these rents and revenues from being used to pay her husband's debts was deemed valid, as it did not infringe on any property rights and predated the debts in question.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit lsd.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of class.